Good morning. My name is Stephen Britton. I'm the chairperson of the Headingley Historical Society. I'm here to introduce our Remembrance Day service for 2020. Because of the COVID restrictions placed on us because of this disease that is now spiking in our province, we have decided to make a film for the Remembrance Day service this year rather than meet in the Recreation Center on Portage Avenue. I would like to say that one of the mandates of the Headingley Historical Society is to promote and to hold the Remembrance Day service. We have a long history of carrying out this event, and I would just like to let you know that this is our attempt to have an alternative form of bringing this service to you. I would like to thank many of the people involved in this project, especially Kathy Maxwell, the Mayor, the RCMP, representatives from the Armed Forces, and all the others on the Headingley Historical Society Committee, such as Jean Amater, Suzanne Moore, and everybody else who has really pitched in to help. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy reflection on this Remembrance Day.
Hello, I'm John Mossett, Mayor for the Rural Municipality of Headingley. It is a great privilege and an honor to be part of Headingley's virtual Remembrance Day service this year. November 11th every year, we come together to honor and remember those who have sacrificed, served, fought, and died for our freedom. Our remembrance for 2020 is much different. Our current situation does not allow us to gather in person, so it is more important than ever that we pause and remember the sacrifices made by those Canadian men and women and their families. We remember those who fought and those who paid the ultimate price. And as long as we remember, they will live on forever. It is just as important that we also honor our veterans of today, both young and old, and say thank you for serving our country. We must acknowledge that we are on land that is recognized as Treaty 1 territory, home of the First Nations, and remember the thousands of Indigenous and Métis veterans who served our country. And in difficult times such as now, as we face an increasing pandemic, we must remember and say thank you to the first responders and frontline workers who make sacrifices every day to help us through these tough times. Please take a moment to reflect on how fortunate we are to live in a country where we are free to embrace our multiculturalism and our differences and celebrate without being threatened or afraid. As Canadians, we should be proud of the difference we have made to world peace and security. We must continue to commemorate the fallen and at the same time be good leaders and examples of peace and freedom around the world. We must set a good example for our youth and help them understand the price that was paid and continues to be paid for our freedom. As Canadians, we are safe because of generations of veterans, our neighbors, our friends, our relatives who went overseas and fought to preserve and protect our freedoms. Just like our sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, friends, and neighbors in uniform continue to do today, serving and protecting our country during times of war, conflict, and peace. On behalf of the Rural Municipality of Headingley and you, its citizens, I say once again to those who served, those who still serve, those who are here, and those who are not, thank you.
Let us gather our hearts and thoughts in prayer on this Remembrance Day. Let us pray. We lift our hearts in thanksgiving to you, O God, for the lives of our veterans and their families, for all who have given their lives for liberty and justice, for all who returned from the horror of war, and all who served on our own shores, for all who stayed behind and waited, wrote letters and prayed, and all who worked to heal physical, mental, and spiritual wounds. We lift our hearts in thanksgiving to you, O God, for the lives of our veterans and their families. Help us remember lest we forget. We give thanks for all the members of the armed forces who are in danger this day, remembering family and friends and all who pray for their safe return. For civilians, women, children, and men whose lives are disfigured by war and terror, calling to mind in penitence the anger and hatreds of humanity. For peacemakers and peacekeepers who seek to keep this world secure and safe. For all who bear the burden and privilege of leadership, political, military, and religious, asking for gifts of wisdom and resolve in the search for reconciliation and for peace. O God of truth and justice, we hold before you those whose memory we cherish, for those whose names we will never know. Help us to lift our eyes above the torment of this broken world, and grant us the grace to pray for those who wish us harm. And as we honor the past, may we put our faith in your future, for you are the source of life and hope, now and always. Amen.